In this present class, I will be discussing ideal solutions. Now, what is an ideal solution? Two liquids completely miscible with one another, when mixed, form a homogeneous solution consisting of a single phase. That is, when two liquids which are completely miscible with one another are mixed, they form a homogeneous solution consisting of a single phase. Let the liquid A and B are mixed, they form an homogeneous solution. Okay? They form a homogeneous solution. This is a single phase system. Okay. Now, if such a solution is kept in a closed evacuated vessel, the total pressure exerted by the vapor after the system attains equilibrium will be equal to the sum of the partial pressures of its constituents. Now, this solution on mixing A and B is kept in an evacuated vessel at a constant temperature. Pa is the vapor pressure, partial vapor pressure of A, and Pb is the partial vapor pressure of B. And the small p, this is P equals to Pa plus Pb, this is the total vapor pressure. Okay? Now, this Pa equals to Pa star into Xa, where Xa is the mole fraction of A in the solution, and Pa star is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent, pure constituent A, and Pb is the vapor pressure of B in the vapor pressure of B. Xb is the mole fraction of B in the solution. Pb star is the vapor pressure of pure B. Okay? Now, total pressure P equals to Pa plus Pb. This is total vapor pressure. Okay? Now, a solution is said to be an ideal solution if its constituents follow Raoult's law under all conditions of composition and temperature. That is, Pi equals to Xi Pi star, where Pi is the partial pressure of the constituent I, Xi is the mole fraction of I in the solution, and Pi star is the vapor pressure of the pure constituent I. Here it is. So, Pa, here I stands for A, Pa is a Pa star into Xa, another constituent B, partial pressure Pb equals to Pb star into Xb. Xa and Xb are the mole fraction of the A and B in the solution. Okay. Now, so ideal solution, in an ideal solution, all the constituents will follow the Raoult's law under all conditions of composition and temperature. Okay. Now we will discuss the thermodynamic characteristics of an ideal solution. That is thermodynamics of an ideal solution. What are the thermodynamic characteristics of an ideal solution? Now, if an ideal solution, in an ideal solution, various constituents follow the relation. So, in an ideal solution, the various constituents will follow the relation mu I solution equals to mu I star liquid plus RT ln Xi, where mu I solution is the chemical potential of the ith constituent in the solution. Mu I star liquid is the chemical potential of the pure liquid constituents, and Xi is the mole fraction of the constituent in the solution. Now, what will be the changes in thermodynamic functions when an ideal solution is formed by mixing pure components? So, we will find out the changes in thermodynamic functions when an ideal solution is formed by mixing pure components. First of all, we will discuss the change of gives free energy. That is delta G mix. Now delta G mix is equals to G final minus G initial. Now what is this? This is the chemical potential. So this chemical potential of the solution, chemical potential, sum of the chemical potential of the constituents in the solution. If we multiply this by the number of moles, then this gives the free energy of the solution. That is the final state. In the same way, this is the chemical potential of the pure liquid, sum of the chemical potential of the constituents. If we multiply this by the number of moles, then it gives the free energy of the constituents. This is in the initial states, free energy of the sum of the free energy of the constituents. Okay. So this gives the change in free energy. So this is equals to I sigma Ni. If we take Ni common, then mu I solution minus mu I still liquid. Now if we put the value of mu I solution here, this is equals to mu I solution minus mu I liquid. This is equals to mu I liquid, mu I still liquid plus RT ln Xi, mu I still liquid plus RT ln Xi minus mu I still liquid. So we get delta J mix equals to I Ni RT ln Xi. Okay. Now, if N total be the total number of moles of all the constituents present in the solution, so we will multiply this by N total and divide by N total also. So, this Ni by N total gives the mole fraction. So, this is equals to N total sigma I Xi RT ln Xi. So delta J mix becomes equals to N total sigma I Xi RT ln Xi. Okay. Now this delta J mix N total RT sigma I Xi ln Xi, since Xi is always less than unity, therefore ln Xi will be negative. So delta G mix is always negative, which means spontaneous mixing. So delta J mix will be negative. Change in free energy on mixing will be negative. Now change of volume on mixing. What will be the change of volume on mixing? That is, we will find out the value of delta V mix. Now we know del delta del G at constant T, this is equals to delta V. So delta V mix becomes equals to del G mix del P at constant T and constant composition, where NiS stands for the number of moles of the constituents. Okay. So this is composition. So at a constant temperature and composition, del G mix del P gives equals to delta V mix. So delta V mix equals to, if we put the value of del G mix here, this is put the value of del G mix here, N total RT Xi ln Xi del P at constant T and composition. Now since delta G mix, this is independent of pressure, no pressure term is there. Okay. So differentiation of delta G mix with respect to pressure at constant temperature and composition, we will get del I N total RT Xi ln Xi del P at constant temperature and composition, this equals to 0. Hence, we can say delta V mix equals to 0. That is, the total volume of an ideal solution will be equal to the sum of the individual volumes of its constituents. Because delta V mix, this is equals to V final minus V initial, where V final is the total volume of the ideal solution and V initial is the sum of the volumes of the individual constituents. So if delta V is equals to 0, then we can say VF equals to Vi. The total volume of an ideal solution will be equal to the sum of the individual volumes of its constituents. Okay. Next we will coming to change of entropy on mixing, the delta S mix. Now, del del gel mix del T at constant pressure and composition, this is equals to minus delta S mix. We know it. Therefore, delta S mix is to minus del N total RT sigma I xi ln xi. That is, this is the value of del J mix del T at constant pressure and composition. So, N total minus N total R sigma xi ln xi. Okay. So, this becomes delta X mix equals to minus N total R sigma I xi ln xi. Now, since xi here also is always less than unity, xi is always less than unity. So, ln xi is less than unity. So, ln xi will be negative. So, negative and negative mix is positive. So, delta S mix is always positive. Delta S mix is always positive. Positive. Delta S mix is always positive. Okay? Now, change of enthalpy on mixing, that is delta H mix. Delta H mix. Okay? Now, delta G mix equals to delta H mix minus T delta S mix. Therefore, delta H mix equals to delta G mix plus T delta S mix. Put the value of delta G mix and T delta S mix. So, it is equals to N total RT I xi ln xi minus N total RT sigma I xi ln xi. Okay? So, this is equals to 0. Thus, in the formation of an ideal solution, no change in enthalpy occurs. So, change in enthalpy equals to 0. So, no change in enthalpy occurs. That is, there is neither heating nor cooling. So, delta H mix equal to 0 means there is neither heating nor cooling when an ideal binary ideal solution is formed. Okay. Now, what are the molecular interpretations of these changes? Molecular interpretation of the changes of the thermodynamic functions. What are the molecular interpretation? Now for spontaneous mixing, as usual we know, delta G mix is negative and delta S mix is positive. But what is about delta H mix equals to 0 and delta V mix equals to 0? What is the molecular interpretation for these terms? Delta H mix equals to 0 and delta V mix equals to 0. Now, for the formation of ideal solution, delta H mix equals to 0 implies that at the molecular level, the cohesive forces between the molecules of its constituents, must be completely identical in nature. Since then only, it is expected that on mixing, the environmental forces of each remains almost identical. So, the environmental forces of each remains identical. Let me explain clearly. Let me consider two liquids. Two liquids A and B are expected to form a binary ideal solution. Okay? Two liquids A and B are expected to form a binary ideal solution. Now, if the forces of attraction between A and A molecules, that is the solute-solvent interaction, are identical with those of BB molecules. This is the solute-solute interaction. Let this is the solvent, let this is the solvent, and let this is the solute. So, the solvent-solvent interaction, this is the solute-solute interaction. And which in turn are also identical with those between A and B molecules, that is the solute-solvent interaction. Okay? So, the forces of attraction between AA, forces of attraction between BB, and forces of attraction between AB are identical. Okay? If it is identical, if these are identical, thus a molecule B in solution will not be knowing whether it is attracting a like molecule B or an unlike molecule A or vice versa. Since the atmosphere is same, atmosphere environmental forces are same, and since AA, BB and AB all are same, so a molecule B in solution will not be knowing whether it is attracting a like molecule B or an unlike molecule A or vice versa in the solution. Okay. Again we know the partial molar volume of a constituent in an ideal solution is equal to the molar volume of the constituents in pure form. The partial molar volume of a constituent in ideal solution is identical with the molar volume of the constituent in pure form. These are same. Hence, besides the identical force between all pairs, that is the AA, BB and AB of molecules in an ideal solution, the different molecule must also have equal molar volumes. So if they have equal molar volumes, that is molar volume of A must be equal to the molar volume of B, then only no volume change is expected on mixing. So I repeat, besides the identical forces between all pairs of molecules in an ideal solution, the different molecules must also have equal molar volumes. Since only then no volume change is expected on mixing its constituents. Okay? So this is the molecular interpretation for the delta H mix equals to 0 and delta V mix equals to 0. Now with a definite problem, I will discuss this. Now if solute-solvent interactions are stronger than solute-solute and solvent-solvent interactions, show that delta H mix is negative. Okay? If solute-solvent interaction are stronger than solute-solute and solvent-solvent interactions, then show that delta H mix is negative. Let you consider B be the solute and A be the solvent. Then the solute-solvent interaction will be AB. Okay? This is the solute-solvent interaction. Solute-solute interaction will be BB. Solute-solute interaction will be BB. And solvent-solvent interaction will be AA. So the force between A and B, this is force between B and B, and this is force between A and A. Now, solute-solvent interactions are stronger than solvent-solvent interactions. And solute-solute interactions are stronger than solvent-solvent interactions. Okay? And solute-solute interactions. That is, delta HAB, okay, this is solute-solvent interaction, is greater than delta HAA, this is the solvent-solvent interaction. This is the solute-solvent interaction is greater than solute-solvent interaction. Now what is delta H max? So delta H max will be equals to delta HAA plus delta HBB plus 2 minus delta HAB. Why is this so? Because in the process of solution, we will be breaking AA and BB interactions, and we will be generating two AB interactions. So there will be generation of two AB interactions, and there is the breaking of AA and BB interactions. Okay? Now, generation of AB interaction is always negative. This is an exothermic process, and the breaking is always an endothermic process. Therefore, delta H makes equal to delta HAA plus delta HBB plus minus delta HAB. This means there is a generation of AB. This is an exothermic process. Now, Hence, delta H mix must be negative. Heat will be released on mixing solute and solvent to form a solution. So delta H mix will be negative, that is heat will be released on mixing solute and solvent to form a solution. This solution is no longer ideal. So this solution will be no longer ideal. Okay? So with a specific example, with a specific example and problem, I try to explain the values of delta H mix in an ideal solution. Okay. Thank you.